lives of humans are brief and they're difficult because the curse of sin and the penalty of our sin is still here and it is still real. We have to remember, my friends, no matter how many new apps we get on our phone, no matter how many vacations we can take, no matter how many sporting events we can go to, we are still on the groaning planet. We are still on the planet that committed treason. We are still on the planet that turned against God. And God said from the very beginning, there's going to be very real consequences that you're going to experience because your first parents and you rebelled against your maker. Genesis 2:17 says it this way. Remember, the Lord warned Adam and Eve. He said, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. And so when we look around and we see people dying, in some generations like a lot, we see them dying almost like dominoes. God says, I tried to tell you, this is where you are right now. Now here's the dangers that we could get the wrong idea. We could look at this world and say, is this all God has for us? Is this supposed to tell us what our God is like? I don't think so. You know, when I was in college, I had a lot of artist friends. I went to a fine arts school for my undergrad, and let's just pretend that I'm bragging to you about my painter friend. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna go this afternoon. We're gonna see all of her paintings, and they're just amazing. You're gonna love them. And then when we get there, you know, there's like, yeah, there's kind of a painting there, but it's all vandalized and spray painted, and it feels like people have taken a razor blade and cut through the canvases. If you were to look at that and be like, that's what your friend made? Man, I don't know that she is that good, buddy. But if you know, no, that's not what she made. That's the work of art that has now been vandalized. That would give you a different impression of the creator of that art. And God says, when you look at the world and you see plagues and you see pestilence and you see pain and tornadoes and hurricanes and all this hardship happening, you got to know, this is not what I painted. This is not the original version. This is the vandalized version. Sometimes we talk about spaceship Earth. Like, well, you know, we're just kind of this spaceship floating around in the galaxy. I think it's better maybe to understand it, dude, this is a half broken down spaceship, okay? Like things aren't going well on this spaceship. This has experienced the curse of what happens to a people that have rebelled against their creator's order in virtually everything. So when we experience pain and difficulty, guys, we just have to start at the right place and know, yeah, well, this is exactly what God said would happen. We try to cover it up generation after generation, but it's still true and it's still what is happening. Now here's what's awesome about God, is he wants all of us in the midst of the context of that curse. He says, yeah, but I want to bless you. I want to show you my goodness. I want to show you my generosity. You don't deserve it, but I want to get you out of that. I want to get you into a place actually where there's no more curse, where there's no more destruction. And by the way, there's nothing you can do to bring it about, but I could do it. I could bring it about for you because of my goodness and my faithfulness. So yes, things can be hard, but as we trust God, he says, I'm going to show you my power. I'm going to show you my favor. I'm going to show you my advantages if you'll just put all your faith in me. Why does God do that? Why does he do it by faith? Because that's how he works. Let's check out Psalm 91 now. A little bit contrasted with Psalm 90. Verse 1, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. God says, when you choose to make me your home, and not your sports, and not your nerd groups, you know, and not even your relationships, not even your kids, when you make me your very life, you're going to find a supernatural rest and protection of heart that the world does not know about. If you'll make me your number one and your priority. He says in verse 2, I will say to the Lord, my refuge, my fortress, my God in whom I trust. And that's really important that he says refuge and fortress. Those are like military type ideas, right? So if you lived in the ancient Near East, remember the kind of place you would be living in. You'd be in a place where often neighboring nations might just come in and destroy all your stuff and steal your land. Okay, and they're going to do it really brutally. They're not going to do it nice. And so the idea that God is a fortress, that God is a stronghold, okay, that means, dude, he's not a little tree house. God is a fortress. You are safe. No matter what is going on around you, you are safe if you are in God. No matter who's coming against you, you are safe if you've made God your rest. Are we hearing that? So what do? We hold fast to Jesus. Somebody say, hold fast to Jesus. I dare somebody online to write, hold fast to Jesus. Go ahead and do it. Hold fast to Jesus. Here's verse 3. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and the deadly pestilence. For he. Now in the Hebrew, what you may not be able to discern is that he is emphatic. That means, so he and he alone. So God and not anything else. God is the one who delivers you. Okay, so that means, hey man, it's not that you should find all your rest of heart and confidence that you have toilet paper, right? Or that you have like, oh man, I got plenty of bread. I got 6 months of bread. Don't find your confidence in that. Don't find your confidence even in our nation's plans. And it's not that those aren't good. Yeah, I mean, it's better to have good stuff than bad stuff. But what he's saying is find your confidence in the Lord. The Lord is where our heart needs just to meditate on and say, no, but it's God. It's God that is holding me together. It's God who is holding me up. Verse 4, he will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness. He's just listing all these enemies that could be coming against you, all the things that could go wrong, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. He says, hey, my friends, let's all be clear. There's a variety of things that could go wrong. Right? There's even just unnamed fears that you're going to have in the middle of the night. There's going to be times you see people around you mowed down with disease. There's going to be times when it's really hard to trust God because you feel like even the structures of society, or at least your life, may be breaking down. And you're wondering what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to my family? And God says, those are real. But those who trust me, who remember that I'm the God who just helps them, who just does things for them that they could not do for themselves. Why? Because they trust me. That's the why. Because they trust God to do it. God's just going to get them out of stuff because God is all powerful. God is all authority. God is all in charge. God is all in control. And God says, it is not my will for my people to live their lives locked into fear. No matter what's going on. It is not my will that people spend their lives locked into fear. And here's what's awesome about God. He wants this for everybody. It's not like he's stingy with it. He wants everybody to hear this message. He wants everybody to take advantage of it. And he says, yeah, it's true. There's going to be sometimes, my friends, you might see literally people dropping like flies. That might actually happen. But I'm going to guard you under the shelter of my wings. And here's why you're going to see that from time to time. Because the curse that is a result of sin itself is causing the earth to tremble. It's a tremor. It's saying, humans, don't be deluded. Don't get drunk on this world. Recognize this thing is a thing that is going away. Right? This is judgment to let you know the true judgment is coming. You're all going to die. That is still true. No matter how you're going to die, you're going to die. And God says, you need to get right with God now. You need to make sure God's priorities are your priorities now. Don't be lulled to sleep by the luxury and the convenience that you're experiencing in your generation. This thing is on the way out, so enjoy it, but don't put your hope in this. Don't let your heart land here. This thing is shaking to tell you, wake up. You might have a day left. You might be in heaven tonight. So let's make sure that we're paying attention. Now, God wants it for everybody, but here's the thing. It only comes with Jesus. Okay? So Jesus says, you can have all this, but you have to have me. And some people just don't want Jesus. Okay, well, then you don't get it because it's a part of the package that he comes with.